Hello, my name is Rusty Beck, and welcome to Identity, the vlog exploring all the different aspects of what makes us who we are. This is the 7th installment of What's in a Name. It's the story of the girl whom the justice system calls Jane Doe number 38, a.k.a. Alice Herrara. Now, last week, I told you that I spoke with Alice's brother on the phone. He wants to meet with me and said that he would even fly here to do so. Now, when I asked him where from, he immediately demanded to know more about Alice and Paloma. And when I told him that I would drive to the airport to see him, he rejected me flat out. So, I don't know whether Gustavo is a good guy or a bad guy. But here's what I do know. Alice was tortured. She had burn marks on her shoulder, and she probably had some of her teeth knocked out. And another thing I know is that Alice was smart. She was hardworking and self-sufficient. But like me, Alice ended up here. This is a terrible, unforgiving place to live. Moving from shelter to shelter, or pitching a tent in a vacant lot overflowing with rats. Hunting for bathrooms and showers all day and night with no safe place to keep your stuff. It's pretty bad. Now, when my address was Santa Monica Boulevard between Highland and Bronson, I hardly ever thought twice about meeting strangers. In fact, I needed them. Because like most thrown away kids, I relied on strange men to get by. Because when you toss a bunch of teenage boys on the streets of any American city with no money or food, within 3 days, 70% of them will be selling themselves for sex. That's because in the battle between hunger and innocence, the stranger always wins. But I don't need strangers anymore. So before I set up my meeting with Gustavo, I checked into his background. He has a criminal record. He's been arrested several times, including once for assault with a deadly weapon. And when I was talking to him on the phone, and he was demanding to know more about Alice and Paloma, where are my sisters? Where are my sisters? And telling me that he wouldn't give me any information until I told him their exact whereabouts, I couldn't help but think, how does an older brother lose sight of his younger sisters? And also, how come just hearing that Gustavo was looking for her made Alice leave safety, food, shelter, and caring adults for this? Forced to choose between her brother and living on the streets, Alice chose what she thought to be the lesser of two evils. And that should tell me everything I need to know about Gustavo. But still, if I want to identify Alice, and if she is to be buried with an actual name instead of just having her anonymous ashes tossed into the wind, I have to figure out a way to safely sit down with this guy and tell him the truth, and a safe place to hear it. Join me next week when, hopefully, I'll have a lot of that stuff sorted out. Until then, I'm Rusty Beck, and this is Identity.